Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt. Sir, welcome and thanks for coming on. In case some of our viewers missed that hearing, if you could just expand what you're hoping to accomplish by bringing to light these, what you described to be unfair DEI policies.
Yeah, I mean, for the past 4 years, our civil rights laws, which are meant to protect people from racial discrimination, were used to do that, discriminate based on race. This obsession the Democrats and the left has had with DEI, which is divisive and discriminatory, found its way in every element of our society, in higher education, in government, even in the corporate boardrooms of America. And so we wanted to highlight those abuses. But we had Harmeet Dillon there, who is now the head of the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice, and we wanted to ask her what her priorities are. And she's taking this on. I mean, she's sued over 40 universities for their admissions policies and how they use race as a reason to admit people or not admit people. And I think she's going to go after corporate America on this front too. And also, I think it's worth noting that in government, this is still very pervasive at the federal, state, and local level. So we got to root this out completely. There's no place in the United States of America. And as Justice Roberts once said, the best way to end discrimination based on race is to stop discriminating based on race.
Senator, I always say that when you're focused on DEI, you're not going to be focused on the X's and O's, improving our society. And from a transportation standpoint, you mentioned the federal government. I'll bring up former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. There was a scathing report on him. He spent $80 billion on DEI initiatives instead of fixing our bridges, our roads, or maybe, how about this, air traffic control.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a totally misalignment of priorities we saw over 4 years. I mean, we weren't building chips factories because, the company that was going to build the facility hadn't hired enough ex-convicts to meet their DEI requirements. We weren't laying broadband because they didn't have a climate action plan. I mean, this wokeness really did affect real Americans. And then just, in a broader sense, America is founded on this idea that everybody is, should be treated fairly and be able to rise based on their own merit, not because of some immutable characteristic like your skin color. But that's exactly what the Biden administration did. It was about power. It was about control. It was about elevating certain groups and not others. And I think the Trump administration has taken this on. This has been in front of the voters. They don't support this. No one ever voted for DEI, but yet a lot of people have to sit through these DEI struggle sessions at work or be denied whether it's a job or advancement because of their race. That's wrong, and we finally have a civil rights leader in the Department of Justice, Harmeet Dillon, along with other leaders there that are taking this on, and I think could make a real difference.
Sure. What you're describing sounds like common sense, I'm sure, to many of our viewers, and yet if you ask Democrats, they have a hard time differentiating between diversity and allowing for these DEI policies and then claiming that it's actually discrimination if you don't have them in place. We've got some of the highlights. Here's that.
I'm asking the questions here. The goal of diversity is
not unconstitutional. We're not talking about diversity. We're talking about discrimination.
The goal of diversity
is not unconstitutional. The Supreme Court has condemned discrimination against American citizens. Colleges, universities cannot discriminate against American citizens on the basis of their race. That is flagrantly unconstitutional.
Spew your anti-diversity rhetoric.
Yeah, it's just one example, Senator, but was there any progress made with folks across the aisle about actually coming together to focus on merit-based initiatives?
No, they're in complete denial. And as President Trump said in his second inaugural address in the Rotunda, this was really a revolution of common sense. That's what the election was about. The American people rejected the excesses that they saw the last 4 years from the left. The Democrats just haven't figured it out yet. They're still in denial. They're still holding on to this thing. And, like I said, the American people don't support them. Senator Hirono, I think, really embarrassed herself in that hearing yesterday. But that's, she does that quite often. So, but the fact of the matter is, DEI is discriminatory. It's divisive. I would also say that one of the things to be on the lookout for is just changing this to a different name now. You'll call it something else, not DEI.
Good
that
point.
was also the subject of the hearing, to make sure people are aware of this, because at the fundamental level, what DEI is, it's cultural Marxism. It divides the room by oppressor and oppressed. It's not American. It isn't consistent with our values. And school kids, by the way, shouldn't be taught to, do privilege walks or what the oppression matrix is. This has permeated a lot of aspects of our society, not just higher ed, but K through 12. And I think we have to be committed in the long term of defeating this. And I think we have an administration that certainly supports that now.
All right, great point. We do appreciate you joining us here this morning. That's Senator Eric Schmitt of Missouri. Thank you so much.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.